We purchased this organic wool fabric versus an actual blanket because it's much less expensive. Wool adjusts to your body heat and it serves as a wonderful winter blanket. There's nothing like it. Although we have collected lots of water from our well for this season, we don't know how long this weather is going to last. So we're going to conserve, and we collected this God-given, wonderful, nutritious snow. One pot will melt down to about 1/8 of a pot. We filter out any elements that might have been in the air, and look at this crystal clear water. Delicious. We are airing out underneath this one chair because we did notice a little bit of moisture this morning. We were boiling something on the stove, and that really brings up the moisture levels in a tiny home very quickly when you boil anything, even coffee. If you see some condensation, just put your fan up high to push that hot air down instead of directly on a cold floor. Doing that would probably air condition your house, and you don't want that. And make sure you put your food items up high in a dry, warm spot. One way to really conserve is not using a ton of paper towels. We can use old t-shirts or things that boys have grown out of, and we just cut them into rags, use them to clean up countertops and floors and that kind of thing, and then we just shake out the debris, wash them in a hot load, and reuse them again. Saves a lot of money.
When you're looking for a property to homestead on, one thing that's important is finding a property that does have several trees.
We have a whole roadside lined with trees here for good shade for our goats and chickens, and also just gives us a good wood source for the wood burning stove later. We could stand to have even a few more trees. Lots of trees is really good. So having a good wood source and a water source is most of what makes for a good homesteading experience. The first thing we did here was dig our well. It thankfully gushes beautifully, flowing cold fresh water, about 30 gallons per minute. Praise the Lord. It's the best water I've ever tasted. Those two elements are extremely important when you're looking for a piece of property. You're also going to want to test the soil for nutrients. Our soil actually needed more nitrogen, so a crop wasn't going to grow very well in that. So that's where the goats came in. Goat pellets are small and they compost very quickly. They spread them all over, and so it's goat manure actually is almost double the nitrogen level of cattle or chicken. So it's a great animal to have that grazes all over, and then they can compost down, and then you've got your nitrogen. Our goats love this alfalfa. They make the craziest noises over it.
Goats are making sounds.
They're not picky eaters like some animals are, so it's a good starter animal if you want to get your land full of the proper elements that it needs. Lastly, you want to make sure that your property you're looking for has really good road connection so that you're not landlocked on your property. So all the snow that we've gotten has brought in all those wonderful elements that we need as it slowly seeps into the ground after dropping all of that old hay that we had out there. It's going to compost it and bring forth a nice green grass come spring. Gary's going to take you on a little bit of these back bumpy roads to give you a tour of the local Oklahoma beauty. It's unusual to have this kind of snow here in Oklahoma, so we just wanted to drive around and enjoy it a little bit. This is one of the buildings that our oldest son, Evan, actually worked on. It's a school. You'll also want to look at a topography map prior to purchasing a piece of property to look at the layout of the land. If it's really hilly, that's not going to be good for a crop, certain animals. You'll have a lot of water runoff, losing the ability to grow anything in that. So having a good area of flat property is important for putting in a septic. Knowing where your sewage is going to go, they can't put that in on ground that's too hilly. We have a slight incline in some areas on our property, but we also have extremely good soil drainage here with sandy soil, about 50% sand and a mixture of clay. We've never had an accumulation of water in this pasture.
The first one to venture out in the snow. They're all fluffed up with their fur. Daddy's been feeding them lots of pellets so they look nice and chubby.
Hey Josiah, what did the coffee bean say to his son?
What?
He said you're grounded.
Ah!